I'm the pioneer of plasters. Wait, you already know all that stuff. I'm not here to waste your time. So let's just spread the thighs wide open and get into the asshole of the video. Fracture number 3. I got this fracture right after one of the hardest times of my life. 8th grade. My trial by fire had just got over, aka exams. The day it got over, I decided to play football with the homies. Just like a bunch of Spartans, we played in the parking lot, hustling and tussling like a bunch of warriors. Until one guy, he accidentally tripped me from the back. I was gonna fall flat on my face, but I used my cat-like reflexes to put my hand in the middle, so I landed straight on my wrist. But me being the absolute Chad I was, I got up like nothing had happened. I had got so many fractures and battle scars by this time that I wasn't even phased. I was like the one anime character that wanted all the smoke. I just thought it was some dumb sprain and decided to return back to playing. Not only that, I decided to goalkeep after that like a madman. After some time, the pain started to creep up, so I had to hold my wrist and play. Once we finished playing, my sixth sense got activated and I realized that something was wrong with my hand. I told my mother and we went to the clinic nearby. Over there, the doctor told me that I should go to the hospital to get some x-rays done. I headed to the hospital and waited in queue for like half an hour. Finally, once my x-ray was done, the doctor told me, "Surprise, surprise, your wrist is broken." And I thought to myself, yep, that seems about right. As the doctor was putting a plaster on my hand and I stared at the narcotics cabinet, I had PTSD flashbacks of how itchy my leg used to feel the last time I got a fracture. As I left the hospital, my mom asked me if I wanted to go tomorrow or not. And I looked at her with a blank face saying, "What do you mean?" And she said, "The school trip?" Holy mother of duck in my pants, I completely forgot about that. I had to go for an educational trip for a week. I was in a deep contemplative thought of whether I should go or not. There was a school project which would be based on the trip at the time and it was quite important. Me being the diligent little boy I was, I decided to go. Besides, I thought it would be kind of fun spending time with my friends, yeah? Boy was I gullible. The next day at the airport I was in two minds. I decided I should try to act as if I was in pain, so the teachers would send me home. The teacher next to me called a medic who gave me a painkiller. I said that did not help at all and I was still in a lot of pain. The teacher called my mom and my mom, being the considerate, sweet mom she is, she said, "You'll be fine, nothing will happen." That's it. My mom didn't love me anymore, guys. My dreams crashed and burnt right there. When I reached over there, everything was fine for about 2 or 3 days, but suddenly I started getting very feverish at night and it reached around 101 degrees Fahrenheit. I was burning up and shivering at the same time. I could not get any sleep at all. I had to stay back in the room while everyone else went sightseeing. You would think this is a win-win. Staying in the room and watching TV while everyone else went to some dumb museum was exactly what I wanted. But some other dude in my grade who was an absolute jerk faked being sick, and since we were the only two ones staying back, we had to share a room. And the next day, the fever literally just went super saiyan that time. I felt like these were my final moments. Since it was that bad, I had to shift to the doctor's room, which was bad for both of us. I'm pretty sure he didn't want me there and I didn't want to be in his room either, but there was no helping it. 2 days later, my mom was called to pick me up because my fever was literally not going down. The day my mother was supposed to come to pick me up, my fever started becoming a little more bearable. Before my mom came to pick me up, the teachers forced me to drink some god-awful cursed ass soup. There was so much fucking salt in that soup. It felt like I was drinking the Dead Sea for fuck's sake. There was so much salt I could feel Gandhi getting revived and marching towards me. It was so salty a Kardashian started calling me. You could feel the cook's tears in the soup. When the teacher left, I just had to flush that soup down the pot. I know what you're thinking. I really hate wasting food as well, but I'm pretty sure that thing wasn't food. My mom finally came to pick me up, and we got on a plane. And when I landed over there, I could barely hear anything from my right ear. I thought to myself that it was just the pressure from the flight, and turns out it wasn't. I had got fucking ear infection. I was literally speedrunning all diseases at the time. Once that got cured, I was finally fine. I know the second half really didn't have to do anything with my fracture, but I like to think it did, you know? Anyways, moving on. Fracture number 4. If fracture number 2 was the most painful, this was the most annoying by far. A few days before my 9th grade final started, I decided to play football with the boys again. For fuck's sake, I didn't learn from my mistake. I was like Subaru who did the same stupid shit again and again, but I didn't have the leverage to go back in time and change what I did. I went down with the intention for just chilling for a bit and play for like 10 minutes and return back to studying. Sadly, God had other plans for me. While I was playing and running, I was trying to tackle my friend. We were running parallelly, but since my friend was a little faster than me, while trying to keep up, I didn't realize where I was stepping, and I stepped on a slippery part. And guess what? I fucking slipped. Unlike the previous ones, I knew this wasn't certainly a fracture. I could sense something wrong in the force. I went up and went to the doctor who stayed in my building. My mom again had to take me to the hospital for some x-rays. The next day, the doctor at the hospital called me back to give me the good news. And guess what? It was a fucking fracture. But this one was quite a major one. So the doctors had to tie a plaster which was so fucking tight, my god. And not only that, he tied it all the way till when my sleep ended. It almost felt like my arm had become a weapon. I could probably batter someone's skull with my arm, which made me feel a little powerful, but that doesn't matter. The disadvantages easily outweigh the advantages. When someone asks an experienced player like me, how does a fracture feel? I tell them that the pain doesn't matter as much as the inconvenience of wearing a plaster. Especially if you've been through painful injuries before and your pain tolerance is high, which is usually the case for most adults. Anyways, moving on. Along with the usual problems of having a plaster, there were some other problems added this time as well. This time there were some special OVAs added to this 12 episode anime. This time there was no way I could scratch under my plaster. It was so tight. And it was all the way up to my arm sleeve, therefore I could not reach the elbow part, and everywhere around that area was really hard to reach as well. And it was really hard to study as well since I had this heavy clunky fucking thing attached to my hand. It was too annoying to ignore. It was like those Pinterest notifications you get every day. If that wasn't enough to handle, I was on a lot of medication, which made it difficult to focus. My exams are going to start in a week, so I took 3 days off of school. I messaged my friend explaining my absence, and when he asked me how I broke my hand, I told him I tripped over a car wheel since I couldn't be fucked to explain them the entire scenario. I didn't love him as much as you guys, you see. Better subscribe now. Yeah, this was a mistake in hindsight. When I returned back to school, everyone started laughing at me. Because my friend told everyone how I fucking broke my hand, they thought it was the most silly and clumsy way anyone could ever get fractured. When I tried telling them the truth, no one actually believed me. But this wasn't the worst thing in the world, so I dealt with it. The worst thing was this. I fractured my left hand, so I didn't have much of a problem for like writing most papers, but for math, I couldn't use a ruler, compass, a protractor, or any other such thing. So I had a writer to do that for me. But there were so many problems with this. First of all, I didn't get any extra time, which was kind of bullshit, you know, like what the fuck, dude? I got as much time as everyone else. That's not fucking fair. What the absolute fuck, dude? Second of all, the writer decided to be the most precise person in the world. For graphs and shit like that, even if it was a 0.1 millimeter off the line, she would erase it and do the entire thing again. Why? I'm anyways bad at math and I'm a slow writer. So this was just a recipe for disaster. At the end, I could attempt only 60 marks out of 80 for fuck's sake. I almost failed. And the final disaster I had to face was this. When I was trying to scratch under my plaster because it was getting unbearable, desperate times call for desperate measures, I borrowed my mother's makeup brush to do the deed. That sounds wrong. I was like a surgeon intricately trying to find the right spot and putting the brush in where no man had ever gone before. But something went horribly wrong. It got stuck. Yep, you heard that right. The brush got fucking stuck. The doctor had to remove the plaster 1 week earlier. The doctor said that in his 20 years of experience, this is the second time he has seen something like this, which made me wonder who was the other desperate dumbass who did this. Well, I don't know why, but my arm was way more hairy than the other one, and it had mold on it for some reason. Yeah, it was really, really filthy. And, well, I guess that's about it. Those are the tales of all my fractures. Don't forget to dick slap the like button, the subscribe button, the share button, the this button, the that button, every other button you see around there except for the dislike button. And, well, yeah, keep up the I forgot my catchphrase. Keep up the weirdness. Bye.